We're going to be simplifying rational expressions. And as I've explained this in class, this all revolves around your ability to factor. So over here, I've sort of put the top factoring methods and really the main factoring methods that we've learned. And GCF is sort of the first and foremost, most important one to use when you're simplifying these rational expressions. And the list sort of goes down here. The first three are going to be the main ones that we see as we go through examples. We'll see what we sort of run into as we do questions 11 and 12 on here. Okay, so if I start on number 11, remember you want to start by factoring the top part and the bottom part. And really, mainly you want to start with doing GCF if you can. So up top, as we look at this one, we look at the 20 minus 4k, you can see that there's a GCF and it's going to be 4. So I'm going to pull that 4 out of it, draw parentheses, and inside I get 5 minus k. Okay. Next, on the bottom, we see that there's also a GCF. However, it's not a number, it's actually a variable k. So I get k times k squared minus 4k 5. So from here, I can't really simplify any of these numbers. There's nothing that can be done with these. So the next thing that I see that I can do is going to be to factor this quadratic, which was that second one I listed. So over here to the side, I'm going to actually factor this quadratic. I'm going to do it in red. So it's k squared minus 4k 5. Break that apart, it's 1 and 5. And then the factors that add to get the middle number. So it's the factors of negative 5 that add to get negative 4. That's going to be negative 5. Okay, those are my factors. So I get k, we'll say plus 1 times k minus 5. Okay, so that's going to, I don't have to do any division or anything like that. These are my factors, so that's going to replace that bottom part. Now, we're going to have k plus 1, k minus 5. Now you'll notice that none of these are actually going to, as they seem right now, be able to be crossed out. However, if you look closely at this one, you'll notice that it looks very similar to this, and it's not identical, so that means we can't just cross it out as it sits. But there is actually something that we can do here. So watch this. If I change this, so watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that 4 and I'm going to factor out a negative 1. Okay, so if I factor out a negative 1, this is what happens. It becomes negative 5 plus k. That makes sense. So that's what's on the top here. Just factor out a negative 1. On the bottom I have k plus 1 and k minus 5 still. Now, how does this actually help me? Well, if I continue here, this becomes negative 4. I can actually rearrange this, the commutative property of addition. It doesn't matter what the order is on this. This is going to be k minus 5 now. Okay, so I just moved the positive k over here, the negative 5 over here, and this is the same exact thing. Okay, so now we see that we're going to have something that will divide away, or we're able to draw a line through, which would be this and this. So our final answer is actually going to be negative 4 over k times k plus 1, because there's nothing else that I can do to simplify this. So all right, so that's number 11. Let's look at number 12. Seems a little more intimidating, but honestly, this one shouldn't be any more difficult than what we just did. We're going to start with the GCF on the top. Look at all the numbers. All the numbers up top. Well, I got a 3, I got a 3, and I got an 18. So I know that I'm going to have a 3. Looking at all the variables, it looks like the most that I could divide out is an x. So once I do that, this is going to be squared. Middle term is going to become minus x. 3 in the x squared, they're going to divide away an x into 3, so it becomes 1. And this last one is going to end up being 6. So there we go. Here, we're going to also, you'll notice on the bottom, we have a 3, 6, and 9. So that's going to be a 3. This time there's no variable because this 9 is missing its variable. So I can't factor out a GCF of a variable, so it's just 3 this time. This gets me x squared minus 2x 3. Now I just need to, as you can see right here, these 3's, because they're being multiplied, all this is being multiplied, I can actually cross through this, and that's going to sort of, we'll go ahead and take care of those. So now I'm actually going to write this below. Now this is going to become x times, well, what do I have here? It's a quadratic. So let's factor that. I'll write it in red again. So this first one here, it's going to be x squared minus x minus 6. Break down the 6 into 1 and 5, 1 and 6, 2 and 3. And you'll notice that 2 and 3 seem to be the best ones here. So I'm going to put, and it's negative 3. So those are my factors. So it's x plus 2, x minus 3. Here. So we factored that quadratic. I'll do this one in blue. We have x squared minus 2x minus 3. That apart into 1 and 3. And then you'll see that negative 3 is the factors as well here. So this is 1. So let's rewrite this. The top part is this red. So I already had the x up here. It's still there. So this becomes x plus 2. Plus 2 and x minus 3. Then down below it's going to be x plus 1. All right, so we see that there's only one thing or one expression that's exactly the same. That would be this one and this one. So they're going to divide away. That leaves us with our final answer because nothing else will simplify. Times x plus 2 over x plus 1. Answer. That concludes these two questions.